told your friend you're not okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long to watch your blue eyes fade as you fade away. As you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay? Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to do a product review with you guys of a rare piece of GM hardware. Those of you who are new to the channel, I picked up this C5R back in August of this past year. So the hardware that I wanted to review with you guys today is, and as a matter of fact, I'm not even sure if this thing is still in production. What we have today is the C5R Block. The C5R Block was produced specifically for the C5R racing program for the Corvette racing team. Folks who worked at GM as well as enthusiasts really kind of leaned on GM to produce it and sell it to the public. And so that's how this block became available. For the C6R, I did some research and talked to K-Tech, who has built a lot of GM's race program motors. My original thought was that the C5R block was ran in the C5 and C6R, but come to find out, according to K-Tech, the C5R block went away and was replaced with the LS7R block for the C6R. So the C6R ran the LS7R block and the C5R ran the C5R block. The LS7R block was never sold to the public, and I believe that's also a Gen 4 block, whereas the C5R is a Gen 3 block. So let's take a quick look at the block. Let's look at some of the specs. The C5R block was, again, as I mentioned, a Gen 3 block. What I'll do is I'll flip it over so that you guys can get a good visual of the cylinder, the deck surface side of the block. It featured a 6-bolt main cap. These were billet steel caps, and the block was also hipped. It's an abbreviation for a treating process. This block comes in a standard 9-240 deck height. It has a production style oiling system. You can use either LSX or just standard LS heads with it. It is a standard 4-bolt head. It is not a 6-bolt head. This was one of the earlier blocks in the LS engine family history. The block featured Siamese cylinders to support larger bores. It came with a finished hone of 4 117,000ths of an inch. You take the cylinders, you could take the bores out to 4 160,000ths of an inch. Max stroke on this thing is 4 100,000ths inch stroke. So all in, max cubic inch you could get on this thing was, you could make a 440 inch motor out of this. And it also utilized a 1-piece rear main seal. This block was rated up to 900 horse. C5R block was specifically casted of 356M aluminum. Block was also hipped. HIP stands for hot isostatic pressure. It's a procedure which basically the block undergoes a multi-step treating process that pressurizes the block, heats and cools it to ensure strength and eliminate porosity. So in short, basically when you hip something, you remove porosity and you actually just make it denser. Any block of material, whether it's aluminum, by hipping it, you're making it denser through that process. And then after the hipping process and the treating process was complete, only about 80% of the blocks made it through, and about 1 in 5 or 20% of the blocks were removed because they didn't meet the QC standard. The part number for this block is 124-80030, and it weighs approximately 109 pounds. So it's pretty light. And again, you could take this thing up to 440 inch with a 4/100 max stroke. and a 4/160 max bore. Although it is aluminum, it does have some weight to it, so I don't want to make it seem like I can just He-Man this block like it's nothing. I do respect the weight. However, it's pretty light. Alrighty, so here's a look down the cylinder bores. There you can actually see the materials. You can see the hipping process when you look at the grains of the aluminum. It's not like a traditional block. It has more of a texture to it. These blocks were machined by Schwartz Machine in Warren, Michigan. So as far as I know, Schwartz did the machining for GM with these castings. Now, when this block came out, it was, I want to say back in 05 era, somewhere around there. And it was kind of really one of the earlier aftermarket LS blocks that I was aware of. Back in the early 2000s when this block was new, at that time it was pretty much this and maybe a few other blocks. I don't even know if Dart had a block for this back in 2006. Not sure, but it retailed for $6 grand back then. Today, if you look at this block, you look it up online, you're gonna pay upwards of $9-10 grand for this block. And I know now there are far more options. You have the Dart LS Next 2. If anybody's gonna spend that kind of money, if I were to spend that kind of money for a block, I'm going Dart LS Next 2, hands down. I also think there's value in the GM LSX bow tie block. But again, that block is iron. So if you're wanting to stick with aluminum, I think this block is not a bad choice, or the Dart LS Next 2. Now, again, with this block, you're not gonna have 6-bolt capacity, and that's where the Dart and the bow tie block outshines this one. But if you're doing something like NA, and I put it in something like this C5, NA build, LS7 headed deal, it should be all I need. And that's actually what I plan on doing. I plan on building this motor and putting it in this car and pulling the LS6 out completely and just driving it on the streets. It'll be a street car, occasional track car. I thought it was a cool piece and just something I would share with the community. I want to give a shout out to the previous owner. Shout out to CSM Racing Engines for supporting all my engine needs. For those of you who have engine building needs, go to CaliforniaStreetMachine.com. Check out their website and to be able to see all your engine building needs.